So this is the reteach retest for the area of a circle on your test. So these are numbers 6 through 10. It is the second grade. So make sure that you're doing the correct session. If you're looking for the circumference of a circle, which is 1 through 5, there's another video for that. So make sure you're looking for the correct one. Now remember, in order for you to get credit, that you watch this reteach retest, you do need to get a sheet of paper and make sure you're writing everything I'm writing, and then after you're done, pause the video so you'll be able to explain what you did wrong. Make sure you have your test with you. That way you could check to see what you did and how you worked it out, and check how I worked it out, and that way you could see your mistakes. So we're going to go ahead and try to use 3 for pi in each of these, because that sometimes help us find the answer. But remember, sometimes the answers are way too close, so you might have to use 3.14. So let's get started with the first one. So this is number 6, and it reads, a circular railroad crossing sign has a diameter of 30 inches. Which measurement is closest to the area of the sign in square inches? So in this case, they gave us diameter. And diameter is 30 inches. So what we're looking for is for area, and it did say that, so those are my keywords. But another keywords, if they don't mention area, another keyword would be square inches. So basically we are looking for area. So we're gonna use area equals, or the formula equals pi radius squared. Now they did give us diameter, and remember we need to find radius. So in order for me to find radius, I will need to divide diameter by 2. So that's 30 divided by 2. That's going to give me 15. So that means radius is 15. So we're going to use 15 to solve this problem. So let's go ahead and substitute. So we have pi 15 squared. Now, if you look at this, that means 15 times 15. So area equals 15 times 15 times pi. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply 15 times 15. So I'm going to do it over here on the side, 15 times 15. So that's 25, 75, 5 and 1. So 5, 12, 2. So that means that my area is 225 pi. But remember, this is in terms of pi. So let's look at my answer choices. There's no pi symbol, so that means I'm going to have to multiply by 3. So I'm going to use 3 just to make sure, just to estimate. That way, because I noticed that my answer choices are not that high. But just looking right now, just looking at 225 pi, you could eliminate F and you could eliminate G. So now it's between H and J. So let's go ahead and multiply 225 times 3. So let's do that, and I'm going to do this on the side. So 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 3 times 2 is 6. So it's around 675. So remember, when you're doing this, your answer choices, it's going to be A equals to 675 plus. So that means you're going to have a little bit more. So if you notice, J is way too low. So then my answer is letter H. Great estimation. Okay, number 7. Bessie's making an apple pie. The top of the pie pan is shown below. Approximately how much pie crust will Bessie need to cover the top of the pie? Use 3.14 for pi. So we have here is they giving us the radius of this number. Now, because it's saying record your answer and fill the bubbles, that means we do need to use 3.14 as pi. We cannot just estimate it with 3, so we're going to have to use 3.14. So let's go ahead and get started. Remember, it is area because the keyword here is cover. And when they mentioned cover, even though they don't mention area, that means that you're finding area. So let's go ahead and use our formula, area is equal to pi times radius squared. So then we're going to go ahead and substitute. So the radius is 9 squared. Remember, 9 squared means 9 times 9, and that you're going to multiply it with pi. So 9 times 9 is 81 pi. Now that would be an answer choice if they were in terms of pi. But because it is an open-ended question, you do need to answer it in the bubble, in the bubbles in the answer document, then you need to multiply it. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute pi with 3.14, and I'm going to do the math on the side. So 3.14 times 81. So 1 times 4, 1 times 1, 1 times 3, add a 0, 8 times 4, 32, 8 times 1 plus 3, that's 11, and 8 times 3 is 24 plus 1, 25. So we're going to go ahead and put 4, 3, 4, 5, and 2. So my answer has 2 decimal places. So my answer for area was going to be 254 and 34 hundredths square inches. So make sure that you're looking at your work and explaining what you did wrong in this answer, in this problem. Number 8. Joe's Cafe is having a stained glass window installed on their front door. Approximately how much glass will be needed to create the stained glass window? Write in terms of pi. Now this one's going to be a little bit easier because it told you to write it in terms of pi. So that means we are not substituting pi with 3 or 3.14. We're just going to do the other parts. So they are asking for area because if you notice the stained glass window, all of this is your stained glass window. So that means it's covering something. It could be a hole in the wall. It could be another part of the window, but it's covering something. So that means we are going to make sure that we are using the area of a circle formula. So let's go ahead and start. So again, remember it's in terms of pi. So we're going to go ahead and do A equals pi radius square. Now they are giving us this whole line from edge to edge is diameter. So because they're giving diameter, remember you have to do diameter divided by 2 will give us radius. So A divided by 2 is going to give us 4. So that means we're doing, we're using radius. We're using 4 as radius. So in this case, I'm going to do pi 4 squared. Remember, that's going to be 4 times 4 times pi. So that means we have 4 times 4 is 16 pi. Now we have here in terms of pi. So that means we're done. So my answer is letter B. Now if you go ahead and multiply that pi with it and you got letter C, remember it's in terms of pi. You went all the way and found out what the area was, but because it's in terms of pi, you don't need to multiply it with pi. So remember that. Always look to see if your answer choices have pi in it. That way you could stop right here. Number 9. Nicholas is painting a circular mural. The distance around the mural is 37 and 6,800 feet. What is the area of the mural? So, in this part, they're saying the distance around. That's my keyword here. Because distance around means that they're talking about circumference. So they're telling you circumference is 37 and 6,800. So first we need to find what radius is because we want to find area. That's what we're looking for. And in order to find area, remember we have to use radius. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and write the formula for circumference. Because they are giving us circumference, I need to use the finding circumference formula in terms, when they're given radius. So we're going to go ahead and substitute what we know. So we know that circumference is 37 and 6,800. The 2 stays the same. Pi is 3.14. And radius is what we don't know. So we're going to go ahead and multiply those two. So that's going to be 37.68 is equal to 6.28 r. Now we're going to divide each side with 6.28. This cancels out because that's going to be 1, so we're left with radius. So now we're going to go ahead and divide that. So we're going to divide it, 37.68 divided by 6.28. Ran out of room. 6.28. So remember, you have to kick the ball to the wall. Whatever you do outside, you do inside, and bring it straight up. So now, remember last time we estimated how much it was. So here, let's go ahead. 6 into 37, it goes about 6 times. Let's try 6. So 6 times 8 is 48, so that's 4. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 4 is 16. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 1 is 37. So in this case, 6 did work out, which is 0 here, so that means radius is going to be 6. Now, we're not done yet because we still need to find area of the circle. So let's go ahead and do the area. So area equals to pi radius squared. Okay, so since we know that 6 is my radius from that circumference information, then we could do 6 times 6 times pi. So that's going to be 36 pi. Now remember, because we do have answer choices, but they don't show anywhere that there's pi, so we can go ahead and multiply 36 times 3. So 6 times 3 is 18, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 108. But remember, area is going to be 108 plus. So that means we could eliminate G because that's circumference. We could eliminate H because that is too high. Now it's between F and J. But remember, it's just a little bit more. If you look at J, that's a lot more. So because that's a lot more, then my answer is letter F. So remember, you could always estimate, and that could help you find the correct answer without having to use 3.14. Number 10. Hilay is making 10-inch white apple pies for her family. Approximately how much pie crust will Hilay need to cover the top of 3 pies? So now they are giving us 10-inch wide. Now if you think about it, you have an apple pie. Well, 10-inch wide would be my diameter. So they are giving us diameter in this case. But remember, it's asking for 3 pies. So we're going to go ahead and draw the 3 pies. And they are looking for, cover is the keyword. That's right, it is area. So let's go ahead and find area of 1 pie. And then multiply it by 3. Now, they gave us diameter. So because they gave us diameter, we cannot use diameter, so that means I need to find radius. So remember, diameter divided by 2 will give us radius. So 10 divided by 2 is going to give us 5. So that means my radius is going to be 5 inches. So that's what we're going to use. So we're going to do pi, radius squared is 5 squared. Oopsie. 5 squared. Remember, that's going to be 5 times 5 times pi. 5 times 5 is 25 pi. Now, these are not in terms of pi, so we're going to continue. I'm still going to do times 3. So area is equal to 75 square inches. Now, that means that's only one of them. This is only one of them, and one of them is 75. So what I need to do is multiply 75 times 3 because we have 1, 2, 3 pi's. So that's going to be 15. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 1 is 22. So remember, this is going to be 225 plus a little bit more. So if you look at the answer choices, A is too high, B could be a possible answer, C is too low, and D is way too high. So my answer is letter B. Okay, so now we finished the reteach of area of a circle. Remember, this is the bottom grade. Make sure that you copied all the work that I showed to make sure that you get credit for it. And also, don't forget to explain what you did wrong. That way, when you come in to do the retest, then you have proof that you've done the reteach, and all you have to do is come in, take the test, and you're done. So make sure that you are doing what you're doing. Don't just do the reteach and not do the retest, because we need you to follow through. So make sure you do this, especially if your grade is low, you need to make improvement on that. So I expect to see you here in the morning or the afternoon. We'll be giving the schedule soon. Thank you.